There's something about a man who dies neatly. No struggle, no panic, just stillness. Like he decided the world had already said enough. The tide crept in that morning and found him first. Perfect suit, polished shoes, face turned toward the sea. Not a name, not a reason, not a trace of where he came from. Someone, somewhere had erased him, cut the labels from his clothes, left behind a single message written in a language older than the lie. And for 70 years, no one has agreed on what it meant. A lover's goodbye? A spy's warning? Or something else entirely? Sometimes the truth isn't buried. It's translated wrong. Welcome to the House of Six. Tonight's episode is Codes, Conspiracy, and a Corpse. So, welcome to the House of Six. I'm Jen.
I'm Jared.
And do you think our house is haunted?
Is
Saw
this
a ghost today.
This is how Tosh show starts out. Do you believe in ghosts? Sorry.
Yes.
Shout out to Tosh. Do I think this house is haunted?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Even though I did see something today, but that's just a...
He saw a figure on the stairs.
I did.
And then he was like, no, ghosts aren't real.
No, that's not what I said. We'll see.
I don't think this house is haunted because I have been trying to see ghosts in this house since we moved in. It is a 120-year-old house. I know who built the house. He was a colonel and an attorney in town. This is one of the first houses in this little town with electricity and plumbing. That's exciting.
It's certainly exciting today.
I love electricity. So there's that. That's what I tell all my friends. I'm very good at parties. So, anyways, each week on this podcast, I explore the history of crime and mystery, and Jared is still waiting for a happy ending.
Wow.
On the stories.
Oh, right.
Not like our marriage.
Right.
Maybe that too.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. Okay, so today we're going to talk about something that I know you've already heard this story, but I will bet that you cannot remember 97% of it.
That's fair.
And I know that you know the story because, well, a lot of these we've told, we watch on other things that I've watched, specifically The Ghoul Boys,
Yeah.
Ryan and Shane.
Sure.
Shout out. Love Ryan and Shane. And when they were on BuzzFeed Unsolved, or BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Yeah, that one.
And
Yeah.
so on that show, they did talk about this, but I wanted to talk about it because it is just super duper weird. This is about the Somerton Man.
Okay. Did you like that? Did you like that reaction? Okay.
You don't remember?
Nope. It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Okay. So, Australia. We're going to the other side of the world.
All right.
Do you know any Australians?
Personally?
Yeah.
Nah, I actually don't think I do.
One of my first roommate when I moved to Atlanta and I got my first job here, and my roommate was Australian. She still is.
Yeah, she didn't grow out of it.
She's not, yeah. She lives in New Zealand now and is very happily married with 2 kids and is living the most amazing life ever.
Wow.
Based off of the beautiful cliffside pictures where their house is located.
You know what they say, Facebook can make it look like a lot of things look good. Anyway, no, I hope she's very happy, no joke.
I think she is.
Yeah. But no, I don't know any Australians.
And I don't know if it's because she's Australian, but she is the funnest person that I have ever met in my entire life. Like the biggest personality on the face of the planet.
Okay.
And maybe that's all Australians. I know one. So I'm going with yeah.
One more than I do.
Yeah. Yeah. We have 4 listeners in Australia. Okay. I don't know how.
I didn't know that. Can we get 5?
I don't know.
6?
Shout out to
7?
Australia. Comment. Because we need comments, and I don't really care what they are. So anyways, we're going to Australia. And, yep. I'm going to get a drink.
Okay, that was a...
Yeah.
And I'm just going to look awkward while I do
Look at my fancy drink. Oh.
My cup looks like one of those punch bowls you order.
That is a really giant cup. I don't think anybody needs a cup that big.
It's actually larger than I intended. That's what she said.
So you're going to be... No. So you're going to be drunk by the end of this episode? Like 3 of those?
No.
I'm going to be drunk after one of those. Long before this dude showed up on a beach in Australia, it was a country that Britain did not know what to do with. The British landed there in 1788. Now, that's not when the story is, but we got to go just to get a little bit of context about what Australia is.
Give me a little history.
Yeah. And all they found when they landed was heat, endless land, and people who'd been there for about 60,000 years. That's nuts. But empire's got empire. And so they planted the flag, they called it New South Wales, and started shipping their convicts there, halfway across the world. And, you know, it's kind of joked about now, but Australia began as a prison, literally. It was a floating solution to what Britain had with overcrowded jails and what they considered moral decay back home. So, more than 160,000 people were sent over the next 80 years. These were thieves, forgers, rebels, and just poor people that ended up in jail because they couldn't pay their bills. And at some point, they stopped this, but there was a lot of shame that surrounded this. I mean, of course, this sucks.
Yeah, and these people just, like, roamed around? Like, they weren't in jail, we're saying, right?
They were sent there to work.
Okay, right.
To help colonize.
Right.
Yep.
So it was like a very large Alcatraz with no walls.
With no walls. And the thing about Australia, I have never been. It's a very long plane ride that I don't think I'll ever make. And also, I think everything there is made to kill you.
It is. The creatures, the bugs. Maybe there's creatures too, but the bugs are...
Bugs are creatures.
Fucked up.
The bugs are scary. The spiders, like, people just live with spiders because they can't get rid of them.
You can't even live with a spider that's the size of a pinhead.
I trap them under cups and I wait for you to come home to kill them.
Yeah.
Because
It's my job.
I can't. They're scary. They are alien-like to me. It's the scariest thing I can think of, spiders. I'm not really afraid of snakes. Mice are just gross. Like, I don't want them, but I'm not like, eek.
That sounded like a mouse.
But spiders, scariest thing I can think of.
Yeah, it's weird. But I hear you.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
So, essentially, this is a country that was built to forget about. Forget where you came from, forget what you did, and eventually forget the people who'd been there first. By the early 1900s, the convict stain was starting to fade. Federation stitched the colonies together, and the white Australia policy tried to keep it neat, and suddenly this accidental continent became respectable. British in manners, American in ambition, and utterly convinced that the outback could be civilized if you just ignored how dangerous it was. And no, it's still dangerous. I think that's how you like go on a walkabout. I think you just like go into the bush and die.
Okay.
I don't think there's like the middle part you're supposed to stay out of, and
right.
you like the outside is
sure.
fine, but like the inside, bad news.
Bad news bears.
Bad news bears. Bad news bears. Yeah. When the World Wars hit, Australia kind of punched above its weight. They sent in troops, built alliances, and earned just enough political capital to stop being an afterthought. But independence had its price. By the time the Second World War ended, the country was going through a bit of an identity crisis. It was still kind of Britain's
stepchild.
Like, what am I trying to say? Like, it just,
I have stepchildren, so I shouldn't say that. They're your children. So yes.
I have stepchildren, they're yours. So there you go. I think they just kind of wanted it to go away, but the country was still trying to prove itself. So that is the world that our little mystery dude walks into. This is a nation that's trying to reinvent itself, just as global paranoia is starting to take shape. It is 1948. The wars are over. Australia is trying to look modern, and it's easing out of the wartime rationing, right? The world's been rebuilt. It's all nerves and cigarettes at this point. I think everybody smoked then. That's like, in my mind, like the 50s, everybody's got like
Yeah,
a cigarette and a
right.
drink,
Agreed.
right?
Agreed.
And suddenly, a country that had spent 5 years fighting in someone else's war had become valuable for an entirely different reason: its location. The war's over, ration books are gone, and the country is dressing itself in optimism. There's new cars, new suburbs, and there's a baby boom on the way. Very exciting. But underneath all of that is still a lot of uncertainty. I mean, at this point, and I think not just Australia, but across the world, half the population had lost somebody in the war. Men came home older than their years. Women had to give up the jobs that they've proved that they could do, and everyone was quietly just kind of, what now? What's going to happen now? And then came whispers. Not about the soldiers, now it's about spies. We're going into the Cold War, of course, between the United States and Russia. Australia had always been a bit of an echo for the British, but now America's in on the game and everybody's watching. You getting comfy? You getting in the story?
I'm into
You're
this.
like, yeah.
I'm into this. I'm
That's
settling
what I'm
in.
saying. He like turned and he's like all focused on me, and that's what I like.
Yep.
Anyways, the Office of Strategic Services had turned into the CIA, and MI6 was drawing maps of who to trust. And in the middle of that, little Adelaide, which was a sunny, polite, and supposedly safe part of Australia, is just sitting there waiting. We're in Adelaide. Okay. 1948, Adelaide, Australia. That's where we're at. The government is starting to sort people into categories. Who's loyal? Who's suspicious? Who might have Russian sympathies? It's always about the Russians. Refugees from war-torn Europe arrive with new languages, maybe some new secrets, and for the first time, the word espionage starts appearing in Australian newspapers. Usually next to headlines about missing scientists, mysterious deaths. Spies. Spies. That's what's happening.
Yes.
Drink break. Cheers. So even the tone of the country starts to change. Privacy becomes suspect. Accidents feel planned. And the new fear is not invasion, it's infiltration. That's the tension of post-war Australia. A place desperate to prove that it belongs on the world stage, but terrified of what that might mean. So when a well-dressed stranger turns up dead on the beach, no name, no ID, and a coded message in his pocket, the question wasn't who he was, it was who he was watching.
Okay.
Do I have your attention?
Sure.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
It is December 1948 in Australia. The Cold War has only just gotten started. Everyone is pretending they're not spying on everyone else. America is setting up new intelligence networks. Britain's running MI, whatever they have over there. And Australia, they're caught in the middle, just trying to prove that they belong with the big kids. Meanwhile, Adelaide is quiet. It is a seaside city, middle-class calm, the kind of place where scandals start in church pews. Jobs are coming back. Nobody's thinking about all this espionage, foreign plots, nonsense. They're just living the middle-class dream here. Adelaide sits low on the map, tucked between dry hills and a restless sea. It's not a city built on power like Sydney or grit like Melbourne. Adelaide is a place that prides itself on being quiet, civilized, and they're probably a little bit smug about it. That's how I feel about these kind of communities. They're like, this is Martha's Vineyard. I don't know how that got brought in. What am I trying to think of? Doesn't matter. All right.
I was going to compare it to where we just moved from, but that would be a joke.
Absolutely. But we're not going to tell you where we just moved
That's
from.
right. That's right.
It was a snobby part of the suburbs of Atlanta.
Now we're just snobby in the not snobby parts of.
We are not in the snobby part, but
We maintain our culture.
absolutely. In Adelaide in the 1940s, everybody knew their neighbors. People left their doors unlocked, gossip across the fences. It's the kind of place where a stranger stood out before he even had a chance to open his mouth. But it was changing. New arrivals from Europe were starting over there. Refugees, soldiers, scientists, and some of them were displaced and a little bit secretive because who knows what they went through in the war. I mean, come on, let these guys just live a life here. But anyways, most of the locals welcomed them, but they were still whispered about if you had an accent, and that just brought up a little bit too many questions. There's a strange kind of vulnerability in cities that think nothing bad can happen to them because something always does, and then it feels like all the rules get overwritten overnight. It's, yeah. So this man turns up dead, and that's where this story starts. Not with who he was, but who he might have known, because he's a stranger. It's the evening of November 30th, 1948. It's warm. It's a summer night. And remember, this is Australia, so we're on the other side of the world. December means summer here in the southern hemisphere. So while we're celebrating Christmas with snow, and they've got like Santa coming in on a surfboard or something.
Sure, I like that. I like that visual.
Yeah. I always like to talk to my friend about it because she has such different memories of Christmas.
Yeah.
All being summertime and barbecues.
Sure,
And
sure.
like that's what Christmas is to them. And I'm like, that's just weird.
I want to be wealthy enough to go and have just warm Christmases wherever I go.
We could go to Florida.
No, thank you. Sorry, no offense.
Yeah. So a local man named John Lyons and his wife were walking along Somerton Beach just after 7 p.m. And that's when they see him. A man is sitting upright against the seawall, legs out, neatly dressed in a brown suit and polished shoes. He looks relaxed, almost too relaxed. Lyons later said he saw the man raise his right arm slightly, then let it drop limp to the sand. And it was such a small movement that they assumed he was drunk, nodding off. They kept walking, And there's no reason to get in anybody's business just because they're having a episode on the beach. Anyways, later that night, sometime between 7:30 and 8, another passerby noticed the same man still sitting there, head tilted forward, but they didn't notice any movement. But it was still a warm evening on a quiet beach. Nobody thought much of it. Just some guy.
Sure.
He's on the beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I saw somebody in the parking lot at the grocery store the other day. It was an old man. I don't know if he was sleeping because he was sleeping hard, or he might have passed in the parking lot.
Check him.
I know, because I'm not going to wake him up from a nap. Anyway.
Was he in a car?
Yeah. But no, that's my point. But he was in there
What
when
if
I
he was dead?
Well, somebody's going to. But So anyway, I get it. You leave somebody. You let somebody be. So this guy was sitting on the beach. This guy was sitting in a parking lot. Let him be. Not in a parking lot. He was in a car.
Suit with polished shoes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not a beach situation.
Not beach attire.
That is not.
Yeah.
Okay. When the sun rose the next morning, December 1st, the beach is nearly empty, and John Lyons returns, like he always did, for an early swim with friends. But the man in the brown suit was still there. Same position, same shoes.
Yeah. Now I'm asking questions.
And the cigarette on his collar had now burned to ash.
Okay. Now I'm checking on somebody.
Lyons realized the obvious. The man's not sleeping.
Right.
Ring, ring, let's call the police. All right? Constable John Moss arrived around 6:50 a.m. That's a really early morning swim, I'm just saying. I hope, is he going to work after that? I don't know. Anyways, he checked for a pulse, nothing. This guy is dead. His body is cold, but it's not stiff, suggesting he died between 2 and 4 that morning. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how John Moss knows this, but let's just say he did. Moss did an initial examination on the beach, checked for signs of a struggle, marks, disturbances, nothing. He and another officer then began checking the man's pockets on site. There were no signs of a struggle, no vomit, no blood, but every label had been cut out of his clothing.
Okay, that's weird.
His pockets held coins, gum, a comb, a train ticket, and a bus stub. Every clue felt ordinary until you notice how carefully it had all been chosen. His shoes were spotless. No sand. Clean. They were immaculate. They were polished. No sand in the seams or his socks. If you're walking on a beach, I'm telling you, you're going to get sand in everything.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely everything.
Right, yeah.
Okay. If he had walked a distance on that beach, especially from the steps down to where he was found, there should have been sand scuffing where there was none of that.
Okay.
His suit is pressed. His face is calm. Now, I mean, I think, like, when you die, your face is calm.
Right.
Like, I think your expression dies with you.
I was going to make bad jokes, but I'm not, so just keep going.
I mean, we're here for the jokes.
No, not now.
I mean, somebody did die, so let's keep it clean, people. Keep it clean. In the autopsy, Thomas Erskine Cleland, he's the coroner, found that nearly every major organ showed engorgement with blood.
Okay.
Particularly the liver, spleen, and brain. Now, apparently, if you're a doctor, you would know this, and I am not a medical person, this usually suggests circulatory failure, often from poisoning or asphyxiation. The stomach and intestines are also heavily congested and contain small traces of food, a pasty consistency of what appeared to be a pasty or pie eaten several hours before death.
Yummy.
Do you know what a pasty is?
Nope.
A pasty is like a meat.
A meat
tart.
pie? Oh, meat pie. Right. Meat pie.
But like, not like a pie. It's like a tart. You know how a tart is all
Sure.
enclosed up?
Right.
Like where you can hold it?
I thought that's what a meat pie was. Meat pie was as well.
Well, I think a pie like in a pan.
No, I don't know.
Like
maybe. But I think they were, I think it, I don't know.
No, it says a pasty or a pie eaten.
Okay.
A pasty is like held.
It's like
It's
a
like
crustable
bread.
with meat.
It's like a crustable with meat.
There you go.
That is exactly what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
It is a crustable with meat, like cooked,
Yeah,
obviously.
right.
Like
Yep.
in an oven.
Right.
Like a pastry.
That was a lot.
Yeah, I had to get my point across. Anyways, his pupils were described as smaller than normal, which is apparently a classic marker for poisoning by digitalis or some other word that I cannot pronounce.
Oh.
Okay?
Digitalis is good enough.
It's poison.
Okay.
Poison stuff. Okay? Both cardiac glycosides derive from plants like foxglove. You know what foxglove is?
Nope.
It is poison.
Oh, well, I could have told you that.
It is a plant. I think it's part of the nightshade family. It causes death.
Well, any poison is called nightshade. You got me there.
That's why it's called that.
Right.
Because it's like, ooh.
Night.
Yep. So anyways, these substances slow the heart to the point of failure, but they're difficult to detect without advanced chemical assays, especially with 1940s forensic tech.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just easier to kill people back in the 40s. That's what they say. Toxicology testing at the time was crude by modern standards. The team checked for common poisons like cyanide, morphine, barbiturates, but not exotic or lesser known compounds, because that's just a waste of time. Like, how are you gonna know? You don't know. I don't know about anything. So here is the coroner's summary in the 1949 inquest. Quoting here. The evidence points unmistakably to poisoning, the nature of which I cannot say. There is no sign of violence, and death could not have been natural.
I am unable to determine who he was, how he died, or by whose hand the poison was administered, unquote. Cleland further commented that the position of the body and spotless condition of the shoes made it, quote, highly improbable that the deceased collapsed where found, unquote, implying he was moved post-mortem or carefully placed.
Yeah.
Quote, the cause of death is not known, but suspected poisoning by an unknown substance. Per the coroner.
Check.
Yep. So,
Drink.
Yes. That's right.
I thought I saw the cat, that yellow cat come down, but I couldn't tell. Maybe it was another shadow. I don't know.
Look, I'm not saying that I want this house to be haunted, but I want this house to be haunted. And I have not seen a ghost.
I saw something today.
I think we have a weird closet situation, though. That closet under the stairs is scary to me. And it's probably just a natural reaction to the fact that the door is cut in a slant. Like, the door is crooked. It's a creepy closet.
I also think that it's because that is probably one of the most original sections of the house that hasn't been touched.
That's where Benjamin lives.
Oh, boy.
I don't know who Benjamin is,
Nope.
but I feel like that's his name.
Yeah.
So I've named him. Whoever this man was, he did not collapse here. I think we can all agree on that. He was placed there. He was arranged. Something is hinky here. And the strangest thing of all is the mystery didn't start with him. It was waiting in a suitcase at a train station.
Oh.
The plot thickens. With no ID and no cause of death, police started to slowly work through elimination. They fingerprinted him, they photographed him, circulated sketches to every state. Nothing matched. There were no missing persons, no military files, no passport photos. He was a man who officially didn't exist. Then someone remembered when Constable Moss emptied his pockets on the beach. One of the items was a rail ticket from Adelaide Station to Henley Beach and a bus ticket to Glenelg, purchased but never used. It meant he'd arrived by train, but no one had seen him board or disembark. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm looking at the cat, because the cat was right there. The yellow cat just snuck around the corner.
Did she?
Into the big room.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just like, there she is.
I'm like sitting here talking and he's
I was
grinning
listening.
at
I
me
was
like
listening.
a weirdo.
I was listening.
We have a visiting cat. All right, so they went back to the station, all right, and they got to look around. Behind a row of luggage lockers, they found an unclaimed suitcase that was checked in on November 30th. That's the same day the man was last seen alive on the beach at night. Inside, more questions here, okay? There are a pair of pajamas, slippers, a screwdriver, a table knife filed to a point, scissors with sharpened tips, a spool of orange thread identical to a small repair in his coat, and again, every label in the clothing had all been cut out.
Right.
That's just a very strange thing to do. The only time I cut out labels is when they're itchy.
Yeah, when they're
Right?
they're too long.
What?
Some of the stupid things, I cut one out this weekend. No, I'm not joking.
cut one out this
Because they're like
weekend.
the labels, sometimes they're like this long. It's like a CVS receipt. You know what I'm talking about.
But like, that's not a normal thing to cut out all the labels in all your
That's
clothes.
different.
That's a weird thing to do.
No, I
Like
don't-
like a CVS receipt. Yeah, cut that.
I don't
bitch
get a
off,
pair
but,
of jeans or a pair of whatever, and I start cutting labels, because to me, that's a little psychotic.
That's weird.
Sorry if you do it.
I would say that something felt very deliberate about all the contents of this suitcase. The tools suggested travel repairs, maybe military, maybe some type of trade. But the sharpened knife and scissors, that's strange.
Yeah.
Who sharpens a table knife? Is that a thing?
Maybe in prison. You want to make a shiv.
I have never made a shiv.
Yeah.
I've never been to prison or jail. Have you been to jail?
I've been in jail. Yes, I have. I have not been
Were you
officially
booked?
charged. No, I was not officially charged. I went in
Was
jail.
this when you were like
I was
12?
I was 17. Yeah.
Criminal.
Yeah. I wasn't charged though.
I have only been to jail to pick somebody up.
Yeah. And it wasn't DUI related because that's not right.
Oh, and it wasn't you.
It was me, just not DUI. I'm saying it wasn't DUI related.
Oh, I didn't pick
Most
you
peop-
up in jail. I said I've only been to jail to pick somebody up, and
Oh,
you were
sorry.
like,
No, sorry.
I've never picked him up in jail.
Yeah, yeah. I have no criminal record.
You're very like closed lip about this. Like, you don't
No,
wanna talk
no, it's just
about it.
stupid.
Oh my
We
gosh.
did stupid shit when we were teenagers.
I didn't. I mean, I did stupid shit. I just didn't get caught.
Right.
Or I really didn't do anything like super illegal.
Yeah, it was,
I was
stupid.
I mean, I stuck out and stuff, but
Stupid
I didn't
shit.
do.
Yeah.
Well, all right, criminal. Anyways,
No, it's not, it wasn't a bad thing. It was stupid.
are you gonna tell us?
Nope.
Okay. Well, you'll never know because it's not on.
Well,
his
and I have no
public
record. Right. I was never
That's
charged.
exactly it.
Yeah.
You'll never
It was
know.
the cops did it to scare the shit out of us, and
Did it work?
It worked.
Yeah. I think you were probably more worried about disappointing your dad.
Oh, I did. It wasn't good.
Well, anyways, sinner.
Bill was not happy.
Bill was. Well, Bill, he turned out all right. You'd be proud of him. All right. So here next comes the strangest clue of all. A couple months later, during a deeper examination of the man's clothing, investigators found a hidden pocket sewn into the waistband of his trousers. Inside of it, there is a scrap of paper, a torn piece of paper, and there are two words on this torn from a rare book of Persian poetry. And it says Tamam Shud. And it means it is finished.
Okay.
Shit.
Okay.
That is scary. That is like the scariest thing. It's like when you're in a house and it's haunted and you're in the movies and like all of a sudden you're and like nothing's happened. You're fine. But that's the scariest
But you're on
thing.
edge. You're on
Oh
edge.
yeah, like Tamam Shud.
I've already
Oh,
started doing
no.
like this.
No, I don't look. You just run away. You just run away. And that's how I am still alive. So anyways, they sent the fragment to translators and librarians. And eventually a man came forward. He'd found a copy of the Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam tossed into the back seat of his car parked near the beach the night before the body was discovered. What? It's like, what is happening? This sounds like a movie. This is ridiculous. When police examined the book, they found the torn edge and it matched perfectly. Same paper, same font, same page, same tape,
Same book.
same book. So anyways, this is creepy, okay? Inside the back cover of the book, in faint pencil, were 5 lines of jumbled letters and symbols. Code, probably, I don't know, and a phone number belonging to a nurse named Justin. Goodness gracious. This scrap of paper blew this whole thing wide open, okay? The police traced the scrap of paper back to the Rubaiyat. They thought they might finally get a break, right? The man who found the book said it had been tossed onto the back seat of his car while he was parked near Somerton Beach. He'd locked the doors, so he had no idea how it got in there. But obviously, with the matched torn page, this is like a puzzle piece. This is so exciting. The telephone number, led detectives to a young nurse named Jessica Ellen Thompson, though most people knew her by the name of Justin. All right. She lived just a short walk away from where the body was found, and when the police knocked on her door, she went pale before they even told her why they were there. Like, they noticed she was just visibly shaken because they were there in the first place. They showed her the book and then the photograph of the dead man. And according to one of the officers, She, quote unquote, looked as though she was about to faint. Is that as exciting as you thought it was going to be?
Sure.
Here's the deal, though. She denied knowing the man, denied owning the book, and denied any connection at all. Now, I'm going to be fair here. They took a picture of this man when he was dead. If somebody showed me a picture of a dead body, I'd be like, what?
Right.
I think I would look like I was about to faint, too.
Yeah, because you don't want to see that.
I want to see that.
Right.
I mean, like, he wasn't, like, physically ick, you know.
No, understood.
But still, he was dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen dead bodies at funerals, but they're, like, all make-upped up. I don't think he was make-upped up. I think he was like, this is a morgue situation.
Yeah, understood.
What do you think so far? This is banana boats, this whole thing.
Right.
Okay. Do you remember any of this from when we watched the story?
I'm not joking. The honest response is only small pieces. Actually, the beginning of it I did, and now you've gotten into more detail that I don't.
You don't remember, like, all the interesting parts?
Mm-mm.
This is the good stuff.
But that might have been, I might not have been paying attention. I might have been doing other things.
Investigators considered everything. Was he another soldier from her past, a rejected lover, a foreign agent who'd crossed the wrong line? They never found a match. No fingerprints in any database. No family came forward. And Justin never spoke publicly about it again. Not after the police left. Not after the newspapers printed her real name. Not even decades later when reporters tracked her down under a different name. She took whatever she knew to the grave. The coded letters inside that book, no one ever cracked them. They were not random. In fact, code breakers looked through this and said it's definitely a code, but they couldn't identify it without a key.
Right.
I'm just going to show you. Look at these lines of letters. Isn't that weird? That's what was written in pencil in the back of the book under her
Right,
name.
so it's definitely a code. Yeah, it's definitely a code.
5 lines, and it looks just like random letters. Like,
Right.
there's no rhyme or reason to it. They're all different links, all different order of the letters.
I need like that colored, you remember the colored paper when you were a kid or whatever? It would show, you probably don't because you're younger than I am, but it was like paper, it was like a toy type that you'd put and it would show you certain letters that were in certain ink and not the others. So anyway, you need that. It's probably something to that. They could have solved it if they had this toy. Shit, we wouldn't even be having this discussion.
Huh.
Anyway.
Cool. So I have a book of cryptograms.
Yeah.
I like those. But I'm not like a code breaker or anything. I look up the answers in the back of the book when I can't figure it out. So, yeah, that's my secret. I cheat. The Rubaiyat was supposed to be a book of fate and fatalism, poems about how every ending is already written. And I think that's why it just like fits this case so well. A man dies with a message that says it is finished.
Yeah.
And yet, it never really was. Because we don't know who he is.
Yeah.
By early 1949, the case had become national news. Police had fingerprints, photographs, a suitcase, a coded message, everything you would need, you'd think, to solve a mystery, except every single piece contradicted the others. Investigators ran his fingerprints through every database they could access in Australia, the UK, the US military archives. No match. Interpol was notified. Nothing. It was just like he just skipped out of all the records.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, records at this point in time were not great, but they still existed.
Right.
When did Social Security numbers become a thing? Do you know?
Oh, boy.
I don't know.
Alexa, when did Social Security numbers become a thing?
Social Security numbers were first introduced in the United States on November 24th, 1936.
36.
Oh, wow. I actually asked way earlier than I thought it was. I didn't think it was that far back. Like, I was honestly probably off by 25 years.
So, like, my grandmother was born in 1929.
Yeah.
If Social Security numbers were introduced in 1936, everybody that had been born prior was also assigned a Social Security number.
But you have to apply to get a Social Security number. It's not automatic, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong because, I am 52.
No, you have to apply to receive your Social Security card.
So you are automatically. So I'm not
Yes.
joking. I just can't remember.
So
Okay. No, it's a
when
valid question. I'm
the
not sure.
hospital submits your paperwork that you had a child.
You automatically get a number.
And
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
They
Of course.
give you
It makes sense because you have to have that makes sense. Again,
So, I'm just saying, my grandmother was born in the late 20s. They had to have she has to have a number.
Yeah, maybe her number was 1. Sorry. Yeah, I got you there, didn't I?
So dumb. That was funny. Oh my goodness.
Let's start with her.
That's terrible. Yeah, she's a
Well, she's what? How old is she now?
well, she was born in 1929. So
I don't
that
want to
makes
do
her
quick
96.
math. Oh, 96. Yeah, sorry, you're right.
Yeah, well, in November she'll be 96 in November. Yeah,
This is November.
Oh, she's 96.
You think the world of her, you just don't.
I think she
You're not going to
is
follow it through her.
the sweetest, cutest little old lady ever, and I look exactly like her. I'm going to look just like my grandmother.
I'm okay with that. She's a cute old woman. She
She's
really is. She's a
adorable.
cute old woman.
She is the sweetest. She's a very sweet lady. Anyways, the handwriting in the Rubaiyat was analyzed by naval cryptographers.
Sure.
Their conclusion was the letters weren't random, but without the key, the message could not be read. So it wasn't Morse code, it wasn't substitution, it wasn't gibberish, it was something. That's all we know.
Yeah. I think anyway, I'm fine with that. I'll move on, but it's hard to say that you can't figure something out and put no rhyme or reason to it and not call it gibberish, but whatever. Anyway, I'll go with it.
I mean, I feel like if you're a naval cryptographer, you might know what you're talking about when it comes to this. I don't know. I mean, look how long it took them to decode the Zodiac's message.
Yeah.
It was just recently decoded a couple years ago.
Right.
Not all of them have been decoded.
I don't want to go decode the Epstein files. Sorry, I put that in there on purpose.
Oh, no. Release the files. So, anyways, then there is the book itself, the Rubaiyat. It wasn't rare in the ordinary sense. Omar Khayyam's poetry had been reprinted countless times, but the edition found in the car was unusual. A 1941 reprint from New Zealand distributed in limited numbers. That version had no other surviving copies. No bookstore could trace it, and the trail stopped cold at the printing press. Now, before this story, I am a bibliophile, all right? But before this story, I had never heard of the Rubaiyat. The Rubaiyat. It's a weird book. Now, I'm not into weird foreign poetry by any means. I'm not really into poetry. I like some poetry, obviously. I love Edgar Allan Poe. I cried on this podcast reading his poems. I love Sylvia Plath. I used to be able to recite Robert Frost, The Road Less Taken, but...
You used to read poems to the kids. Poems to the kids.
No, okay, that's different.
I know. That was just...
Shel Silverstein's books, Where the Sidewalk Ends, those books are just anything
You used to do that, and that was cute.
Absolutely. In fact, that's some of that will always be some of the fondest memories that I have with the kids is reading them. Those are different kind of.
That was when I first met you, or not met you, but first,
that was in our first house together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
My second favorite memory.
I didn't meet you in the first house. I just,
No, we just suddenly lived together, and there we were. My second favorite memory of the kids is playing Monopoly and Warren absolutely losing it when he was 5, and we were all beating him. And
there's
a
picture of that.
And there is a hilarious
series
of pictures of my son slowly losing
melting
his mind.
down.
One of the greatest.
He didn't handle stress that well when he was
still doesn't.
5 or 6.
It's hilarious.
Now he just handles it, to your point, slightly better.
Yeah, love it. All right, back at the morgue, investigators combed the body for new evidence. Looking again, no ID, no tattoos, no military marks. His hair had been freshly cut. His hands were clean and tidy. His shoes, obviously, we've already talked about them, spotless, no sand. It looked like he had been prepared for display, just very strange. Detectives re-interviewed residents near Somerton Beach. One woman swore she'd seen a man carrying another man over his shoulder near the water late that night.
Just
But
recalled. Just thought about that.
I saw a man carrying a body, and I just now remembered.
Yeah. I didn't really put 2 and 2 together.
Obviously, the police dismissed this as unreliable because that is BANANAS. Okay? Others claimed they'd heard nothing at all. I mean, this was a year ago, right? They even brought in scientists from the University of Adelaide to test the man's hair for traces of metal or radioactive isotopes, thinking that maybe this was like an agent, a courier, a target. The results are clean. There's nothing.
Yeah.
This guy's a ghost. That's what they call spies. So anyways, by mid-1949, the coroner's inquest had run out of answers. Cleland wrote that every symptom pointed to poisoning, but no poison could be found, so he called it an unnatural death by an unknown cause. The case was filed away. The body was embalmed and buried in a simple grave marked Somerton Man. Somerton Beach. And police thought time might eventually shake something loose, a missing person, a confession, rumors lining up, but instead the years just kind of built up this big legend of the Somerton Man. And I think that that's probably why this story just stayed alive for so many years, because this is just weird. You want to talk about the theories?
Sure.
Let's break for a drink. Then we'll talk about the theories. The most famous theory is the obvious here. He's a spy.
Okay.
He's a spy.
Sure.
All right. It was 1948. Cold War is just coming about. I wrote down the Cold War had just warmed up.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, Australia had become a quiet ally in intelligence sharing with Britain and the U.S. And Adelaide was home to the new Woomera test range, a top secret weapons site for rockets and long-range missiles, which sounds like bad news bears, but I think this is just government bullshit. The thinking goes that the Somerton Man could have been working in intelligence, either British or Soviet. The undetectable poison, classic spycraft, coded letters, field encryption, of course, lack of ID. Dude, he just knows his trade. Clean pressed clothes. Well, I mean, what spy goes around in joggers? That's
At the leg spy?
silly. No, there's no.
Oh,
Spies
oh,
don't.
sorry.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely. Have you seen James Bond? I have not. I don't watch any of the movies. I haven't seen
No,
one.
you don't. You don't.
I have never seen a James Bond movie.
It's almost
True story.
not even fair that you haven't, so yeah.
I don't. No, I'm not interested. It's dumb. It's stupid. All those gadgets, it's absolute bullshit.
God, you are ruining a lot of people's lives.
Look, like back in the get out of here. Like get out of here. And also Sean Connery used to like slap a bitch. So like he was a bad man.
I would totally do a Sean Connery
What?
accent, but I can't. Right?
Oh,
I can't
do
do
it.
it. No, I can't do it. No. Nope. Nope.
I hope whoever is looking on video just watched
Just
what
saw
my
your
mouth
face.
did. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
went,
Oh, you did.
apparently
You went to the.
That's what Scottish people.
You went. Yeah, you went to
when
the.
they
You
talk.
went to the. Yeah. Yes.
Is Sean Connery 92 in that accent?
I didn't do it,
You went, yes.
but no, it just. Yeah, I was. I was creaking the mouth like you did.
Apparently, that's how Scottish people look when they talk. I apologize to all the Scottish people who I have seen delightfully beautiful Scottish people on TikTok, and none of them look like what I just did. I apologize.
Moving on.
Yeah, so this theory is great on paper, okay? This is like, it's got to be this, right? He's got to be the spy. But here's the problem. There is no known intelligence connection whatsoever. No radio, no papers, no history of espionage in the region involving a man like him. If this was a professional hit, it was messy to leave this on a public beach. Spies don't mess around. This is, I guess, I'm not obviously a spy. If I applied for the spy, they would be like, Jen, you look at your face. You can't keep a secret. It's all written on your face. They just, so. Yeah, so that's the spy theory, okay? The next theory is the romantic tragedy theory. And this one is more like Broken Hearts Club here, okay? He wasn't killed for what he knew, but for who he loved. Justin, we're going back to her, the nurse whose number was in the Rubaiyat.
Sure.
Her reaction to his photo, her silence afterward, the poem itself suggests intimacy. Tamam Shud, it is finished. It reads like closure. Okay? Some thought he'd taken the poison himself, maybe outside her house. Sending a message there, bud. That's mean. He's unable to move on. Others thought she or someone protecting her had a hand in it. Maybe he's calling just a little too often. He won't leave her alone. And she's like, you know what? The best way to deal with this?
Poison.
Poison.
Yeah.
Yes. She had.
Seems a little dramatic, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry I interrupted.
No. Please.
That was it.
No, it is dramatic. But there are some dramatic people out in the, like,
No.
Are you looking at me?
No. I'm looking at you because I'm supposed to.
I know, because this is what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
I look at you lovingly.
If you have to say it like that, it's not. All right. Justin had a son named Robin who bore a strange likeness to the Somerton Man. If all this is true, that would mean that he died a few hundred yards from the home of his lover. I don't like that word, lover. It's an awful word. It sounds dirty. So, we're not going to use that again.
Okay.
You don't think so?
No, I don't know where you're going with that.
Lover. She's his lover.
Okay.
It sounds gross. It sounds lewd.
Okay. I see. I never knew this word bothered you, but
It
okay.
sounds lewd. Like, I have never said, come here, lover.
No, you haven't. I would
First of all, I
laugh.
don't do that.
I would
voice,
laugh
but-
if you did, but yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So, secret affair situation.
Sure.
And he's sad, and either she's had enough of his shit and she bumps him off, or he's like, you know what, I'm going to get her good and I'm going to off myself outside her front door.
Well, there's only one person that wins in that situation.
Who?
Her. He's dead.
Oh, goodness. But also, it's true. I didn't know.
One
what to
winner.
think about. Yeah, okay. Well, and anyways, we're moving on. Okay. Next theory is that it had something to do with his profession. All right. There is a theory built on chemistry. He wasn't a spy or a lover. He was an industrial worker, possibly a pharmacist or instrument technician. Someone who had access to rare compounds like digitalis, capable of killing without leaving a trace. The idea goes that he may have miscalculated a dose or taken it intentionally, knowing it would vanish from his system before anyone could test for it. Cut the tags from his clothes to hide his identity, maybe to protect his family, maybe to vanish cleanly. Control move.
Sounds stupid, but okay.
It does. Yeah. And then we just have the unknown identity theory. He wasn't a spy. He wasn't a lover or a chemist. He was just a man without a name. Displaced person from war-torn Europe. Someone who lost his papers, didn't speak the language, couldn't fit in. You know, after the war, Australia was full of refugees and ex-servicemen, ghosts, men trying to disappear into a country that was still learning how to look outward. And he had this code. It's not a cipher. It's just a way of hiding his language and his identity that nobody knew about. And he just wanted to fade off in anonymity.
Okay.
Okay? This is a weird theory. Like, there's so many, like, you're making some really weird accusations here. And it's really about foreigners. Next, moving on, we have the accidental or
Hey, so many-
stage death.
Okay. There's so many fucking theories.
Oh, yeah. This is the last one. It's okay. We're at the end here. All right. This one's a little bit of a long shot, but what if it wasn't murder or suicide, but it was just like, oops, I didn't mean to take all that digitalis.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, thought it was a shot at tequila and he took it to callus.
Maybe he took the wrong medication. Maybe he had foxglove in his pocket and he thought it was a mint.
Maybe.
And then he's like, oh, shit. And then
Right.
it, like, disappeared from his system. And he's like, fuck, I didn't have time to write. Like, he's trying to write out the code and it was just gibberish.
Right. Right. Became dyslexic.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. What do you think it is?
Well, it's hard. I mean, as much as you want to say he was a spy, which is not out of the question.
Do you think it's probable that he was a spy?
I think it's probable. Sure.
Probable
Yeah, I
or
do.
possible? Those are two different things.
Possible. I'll go with possible.
Okay. Of course it's possible that
Yeah.
he's a spy.
Right.
It's
Of course.
possible I'm a
That seemed
spy.
too. That seemed too.
I mean-
that seemed too easy, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you all tie it to me. Out of all of it, you tie it back to this code. That to me, that's what the focus is on, because you're like, why this code? I know the poison after, because you're like, this was very specific poison that, as you said,
Well, we
you know,
think. We don't know.
and just the whole code thing. That's weird.
The code is weird. Tamam Shud is really weird. Torn from a rare book
Right.
of poetry.
Yeah. It's odd. It's a
It-
lot.
it
It's a lot
means
of
it
things.
is finished.
Either
That's-
it is a well planned bullshit story, or it was legit, and all the things that you think could have been or actually were.
Well, and
it was
also-
like a movie.
Remember, all the labels were cut out of his clothing, and all of the weird things in his luggage. The sharpened
Right.
table knife
Right.
and
Right.
sharpened scissors. Oh, that's really strange.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I'm not going to tell you my theory
Why?
because I have a twist. I fooled you.
Oh boy.
I fooled you. You thought it was theory time. You were wrong.
You know, I'm all about this story, and you can handle this next part like you want. But Sam, the cooking guy, you know, I follow him as well, right? I'm throwing you a curveball, and whenever Sam is outside cooking, there's always a noise in the background, and he
Yeah.
bitches about it. So I'm going to bitch about the leaf blower that is now going out of nowhere at 5:30 in the afternoon. That I'm like,
On a Tuesday.
what the fuck? So anyway, sorry, didn't
Yeah,
mind
we
it.
do have no
Just
background
people are
noise.
going to go,
About that.
what the fuck is that sound?
It's a blower. We live
So.
we live in the city.
Yeah. So anyway, apologies, but I was like, fuck.
I'm pretending it's not happening.
Yeah.
So I did you dirty.
Okay.
I know what happened.
Oh.
We have a modern update from 2022.
Okay.
So this was only 3 years ago. So this
Yeah.
is really, really interesting. Finally, after decades, a team led by Professor Derek Abbott at the University of Adelaide used advanced DNA sequencing on a preserved hair taken from the man's plaster death mask. Creepy. They compared the genetic markers to samples uploaded to genealogical databases, the same kind that were used in cold cases. And for the first time since 1948, the mystery man had a name. Carl Charles Webb. Born in 1905 in Melbourne, Webb was an electrical engineer, this is important, and an instrument maker, a man with the technical precision the evidence always hinted at. He'd been separated from his wife Dorothy around 1947 and had quietly dropped out of sight not long after. No one filed a missing persons report. No one seemed to look for him. His line of work explains almost everything that baffled investigators in 1948. The tools and the sharpened knife in his suitcase, standard instruments for electrical repairs.
Okay.
Yep. The orange thread, the same gauge used in wiring insulation.
Okay.
Even the rubaiyat fits. He was a thoughtful, analytical man with an interest in literature and puzzles.
All right, I'm not fully getting you there, but okay.
Well, everything there matches except his ending, right? The coroner's report pointed to a poisoning by digitalis or strophanthine, both used medicinally for heart conditions, both fatal in precise doses, and both nearly undetectable with 1940s toxicologists.
Sure.
It fits the symptoms, it fits the error, it fits the man who was potentially quietly unraveling from his loss. He had debt, despair, whatever that was going on with his life. But one thing doesn't quite fit, and that is Justin. When the DNA results were compared against living relatives, the researchers found a distinct genetic link between Webb and Robert Thompson, which was Justin's son.
Okay.
Robin. Did I say Robert?
I think you did.
Sorry, Robin. The DNA extracted from the Somerton Man's preserved hair matched a family tree connecting to Carl Webb of Melbourne. When those results were compared to Robin Thompson's living descendants, they showed a partial overlap, meaning the Somerton Man and Robin shared a recent ancestor. However, the Y chromosome, which passes almost unchanged from father to son, did not match directly, which makes it unlikely that Robin was Webb's biological father,
Right.
biological son.
Right.
So this means that he was not Robin's father. But it suggests there is a shared lineage somewhere in the family tree. It's possible if he was somehow related to Robin's father that Justin knew him, which could explain why she was so freaked out. It doesn't explain why she didn't just say it was Carl.
Right.
What's going on, Justin? You're being weird. So, I mean, it is possible she didn't know him, obviously. I think it's probably more probable that she knew who he was.
Probably,
and was just freaked out that he died. Or maybe she knew, Robin's father and they weren't on good terms and that was his brother. And she was like, Robin's father, Todd, is a dick and I don't want Carl to know I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just making things up. I don't know anything about Justin. She's probably a lovely lady. I don't even know. So, yeah, isn't that weird? We know his name now.
It's cool that at least you can resolve that.
We don't know. I mean, if it was common heart medicine, it sounds like he was going through some things.
Right.
And he went to the beach and was probably like, it's time to end it all. And he didn't want his family to know where he was. So he cut out all of his labels and just...
So...
Yeah. So after all the theories, the codes, the tests, and exhumations, the man on the beach was finally named Carl Webb. He was an engineer, a brother, a man who loved poetry and precision, and maybe he just ran out of reasons to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel really bad for Carl.
Okay.
Unless he was a spy, and then Carl did this to yourself. But if not, Carl, I'm really sorry. So that was a double-edged sword right there. Yeah. Yeah. So I think now what do you think happened?
Oh, don't ask me. You just answered it. Doesn't mean he wasn't a spy, but you just answered it.
I think Carl made some choices.
Yeah.
I think Carl made some choices.
Yeah. Whole lot of hoopla for nothing.
It was. Yep. Well, I think this one was really I think this one was really interesting because we have answers all these years
Sure,
later. I mean,
sure.
70 years later, we finally have answers. We know what happened. Well, we don't know what happened. We know who he was.
Yeah.
And he's somehow linked to Justin, which is
Right.
very strange indeed.
Right.
And the "it is finished," that is just a really, really simple and sad message.
Right.
I think he was telling the world that
Right.
he was done.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it is finished, but I don't think anything is ever really finished on this podcast because we're here to tell the stories. We're finding new evidence every day, which is really interesting. Obviously, if you like mystery and meticulous nonsense, then you should like, review, subscribe, whatever people do to let other people know that are doing podcasts and that are really struggling to understand if people actually like them in this world. Then you should do that because I like to be liked and I like comments,
Well,
but I don't have any.
yeah, I'm gonna. You always ask me to add things, right? I'm gonna add something. Talking to you, 30-something subscribers that we
32.
have. Yeah. Look, give us a comment, and I'm not saying it has to be good. Tell us what we're doing good. Tell us what we're doing not as well, and we would love to just hear from you. Really would. No joke. Really would.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, that was from his heart, guys.
It was deep down. Deep down.
He felt it. I felt it from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So until then, you can find us on patreon.com/House of Six or on TikTok because my TikToks are fire at House of Six. YouTube is really the place you need to be. That's where all the fun happens.
I'd agree to that.
Yep. Some books are better left closed, so stay out of the Rubaiyat. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
He slept by the tide with a secret to keep, a code in his pocket, a past buried deep.